Hey guys, today is January 1st, New Year's Day 2025. And in this video, I want to talk about plane crashes. We recently had two significant plane crashes in December on Christmas, killing 38 people, and the one on the 29th of December with 179 fatalities. I was already looking at the end of December for a possible plane crash. Then one hit on December 25th, Christmas. I wasn't specifically looking at that day, but I was looking at the 27th through the 29th. And after that one on Christmas happened, I made a community post warning about another possible crash, specifically between the 27th and the 29th. And we had the larger crash in South Korea. Again, 179 fatalities, so it was pretty significant. And I'm going to go over the connections that I was looking at, and plus another date that I see that we may have yet another plane crash. And I think this one may actually be in the US, the United States. So I see some connections with this movie, The Dark Knight. So this is a scene from The Dark Knight when Bane detonates an explosive device, explodes outside of the city, and it ends up exploding inside the stadium as number 86 is shown outrunning the explosion. And they also focus on the section 322 in the stadium. Then it explodes. So this ball was carried by an actual football player. His name is Hines Ward. And this was filmed in Acrisure Stadium, but it's also known as Hines Field as well. And that's where the Pittsburgh Steelers play. This is actually the colors of the Pittsburgh Steelers that you're wearing. But okay, now I want to talk about Henry John Hines. He was actually killed in a plane crash, born October 23rd, 1938, a heir to the Hines family fortune. He was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right? This is Hines Field in Pittsburgh where the Steelers play. And he was wearing number 86, right? And John Hines was 86 years, 8 weeks, 6 days, a double 86 on Christmas Eve. So this plane crash happened on Christmas. Half of the world, it was still Christmas Eve, right? So there's that connection with John Hines, Hines Stadium, carried by Hines Ward, wearing number 86, and got a plane crash. And you also had, on Christmas Day, the Steelers playing one of two games that were shown on Netflix. Then, as I said, we had a larger plane crash in South Korea, 179 fatalities on December 29th. This was one of the dates that I was warning about in my community post before it happened. So John Hines was married to Teresa Hines. After she became a widow, she married John Kerry, right? And John Kerry is a Skull and Bones member, and their number is 322. That's shown here in Hines Field. And now when you take the date that Teresa Hines was born to this plane crash on December 29th, she was 86 years, 86 days old, right? Wearing number 86, Hines Field. Once again, you have the second plane crash related to a member of the Hines family fortune that ties into the 322 Skull and Bonesman, John Kerry. So as I said, this is a scene from the movie The Dark Knight. And if you remember, on the release date of the movie, July 20th, 2012, there was a mass shooting that occurred inside the movie theater while this was showing in Aurora, Colorado. And wouldn't you know it, John Kerry is born in that city. Not a coincidence. He was born in Aurora, Colorado. And from John Kerry's birth, it was 81 years, 18 days to this plane crash, December 29th. Opening day at Hines Field was 8/18/01, so a similar numerology. And I'm going to get to why they would correlate plane crashes connecting to John Kerry. Because there was one back in August 6th, the 86 number. So this one happened first. 1997, August 6th. It was 19,597 days after his birth, which is the 2,223rd prime number. So I've been focusing on the skull and bones numbers for like a couple of years now. And as I've been saying, I'm seeing the code, not just 322, but 1, 3, multiple twos in any order. So like we have here, 2223. It could be 3322, whatever. 1, 3, multiple twos. And there we have it again, connecting to John Kerry, skull and bones member. And guess what? This was the last one that hit South Korea. The last deadly air crash that happened in South Korea. And it connected to John Kerry. I will say, this December 29th was also 328 on the Jewish calendar, and the number 2203 is the 328th prime number. Now here's why they would connect a plane crash to John Kerry as well as George Bush, right? George Bush was the president during 9/11. So the two planes hit the towers, the plane supposedly hit the Pentagon, and one crashed in Pennsylvania as well. But the word plane crash equals 43 in gematria reduction. And these two skull and bones members were running against each other for the 43rd presidential election. John Kerry was also born in 1943. And why would they have it to where they were running for the 43rd president? Because the 43rd day of the year leaves 322 days remaining. So there's that 322 connection connecting to the 43, which connects to plane crash. So, and even George Bush, his birthday had a 322 connection to 9/11. So 20,023 days. There you go. 1, 3, multiple twos, and numerology, you can omit the zeros. So you have 2 2s and 1 3. But this is with the dates reversed. Most people don't look at it. Look at this, reversing the dates. That's if you were to take the 7/6, put it over here, and 9/11 over here. But I just made it simplified, putting it in reverse, parentheses. So, as I said, I continually see connections when I reverse the dates like that. You probably don't even remember, but just after 9/11, on November 12th, 2001, there was another deadly American Airlines flight that crashed in New York City. 265 fatalities, and that connected to John Kerry's birth. So you had, in the same year, in 2001, both running for the 43rd president, plane crash equals 43. You got George Bush connecting to the 9/11 plane crash. And John Kerry, who ran for the 43rd president, lost. It was 3,022 weeks in 2 days. 1 3 multiple twos apart from John Kerry's birth. So you can tell this is not a coincidence. Even in the year 2011, because that's when I started looking at 9/11 and 322. It's because 9/11 happened and I saw all these 322 connections, and I'm not even going to share with you guys in this video because I may have a long time ago, but that doesn't go along with this video. It's because we had a skull and bones president, and that's why they had all these 322 rituals, just like Bin Laden's birth to 9/11 was 2,322 weeks and 2 days. 1 3 multiple twos. And another reason why I was looking at December 29th is because of the movie Airplane. Its premiere on June 27th, 1980, to this plane crash in Korea, was the same amount of days, or same amount of weeks and days from Bin Laden being born to 9/11. 2,322 weeks, 2 days from the movie Airplane to that airplane crash, right? So I showed you guys the connection with John Hines, number 86, right? The plane crash. And now, if you look at his birth date to the 16th, 17th, so the 16th would be with the end date included, 17th without. So it would be 86 years, 86 days after John Hines was born. And you can see that this date adds to 43. And plane crash is 43. So you see this number 322. And this will be exactly 322 weeks after CISA was founded. That's our cybersecurity agency, right? The U.S. Cybersecurity Agency. And maybe this isn't a plane crash. Maybe it is a blackout, because this it's called The Dark Knight. And I know there's going to be a blackout connecting to this movie, probably multiple dates. I think I have one in the year 2027, but anyways, there might be one this year, and it might be this date. Or it may be another plane crash on the 17th. But I'm kind of looking actually between the 17th and the 19th. Maybe the 16th, because I got, but the 4-day span, I think a 3-day span. So, because when you look at the head of the FAA, Mike Whitaker, the 17th and 18th, 17th if you include the end date, 18th if you don't, well, he would be 23,222 days old. So that's why I'm looking at a U.S. event, because of the connection with the head of the FAA. And this also connects to a U.S. plane crash, Pan Am Flight 214. So, and that was flying from Baltimore to Philadelphia and crashed in Maryland. And that was 22,322 days apart. Again, the 17th, 18th. And the second in command at the Department of Transportation, well, look at her birth date, the 17th and 18th. 22,223 days. Again, the skull and bones connection to these plane crashes. And now look at this, guys. Okay, I said this was like second in command at the Department of Transportation. This other guy was the head of the FAA, which just deals with, flights and airplanes. Transportation deals with all of it. It could be trucks. It could be anything to do with transportation. But the head of the Department of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, he will be 43 years old on January 19th. And this could be the 18th, with the end date included. So it seems like the 18th is kind of in between everything. It fits the most dates, but I'm putting a high watch date between the 17th and the 19th, right? Because also the total solar eclipse over the United States, another reason why I believe this will be a U.S. event, because it will be 9 months and 11 days. The 9/11 connection to another plane crash, to January 18th and the 19th. So that's all I got. That was the last slide. And, we'll see what happens. And, I forgot to talk about even looking at January 3rd. Not that I know anything would happen on that day. But I was talking about the premiere of the movie Airplane, connected December 29th. 2,322 weeks and 2 days. But the actual release date has the same connection to January 3rd. So it doesn't mean that we're going to see another one on January 3rd, but I just thought I'd throw that out there in case we did see something happen. Alright guys, that's all I got for this video. I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care.